In this video, I'm going to show you how to basically navigate the um, Pickaxe editor when for your very first time. So right now, I'm on the dashboard and I'm under Pickaxes. So you can see here's a list of pickaxes um, on this area. So if you're ever unsure of like what something means or how it works, you can really just hover your mouse over like website. It'll tell you the difference between listed and unlisted. It'll tell you what it means for guests and it'll show you those things. So that's convenient. You can hit new pickaxe here to create one, but I want to edit this. So there's a few ways I can do it. Um, if I click the logo, then it's going to take me to basically manage this, and it just gives like the one shot like overview of where it is, details what type it is, the AI model that's running it, last time it was updated, access level, that type of stuff, right? And it even has like response history of different users who've used it recently. And this is me using it while I was testing it, right? So I'm gonna hit edit pickaxe in the top right corner. And when I hit edit pickaxe, now I'm gonna open the builder. And this is where you spend most of the time. This is the fun part, like, oh, so fun. So in order to get this working the way you want it to, you spend most of your time under the prompt, and when you're on a chat, there's a role, and what I would do is, on your first time, read all of these little, like, information question marks, read them so you get the hang of it, right? And you could check it out for their blog, their templates, like, just see what it is. You could hit got it when you've got it, but the first thing I recommend that you do whenever you load a template or AI generates the role for you, which by the way, every single time, 100% of the time that I create a pickaxe, and I've made almost 100, over 70. I always have AI generate the rough draft because it's going to do really good. So here, I'll put this over there. Here, the persona says you are a compassionate, encouraging Christian testimony coach. You believe every believer's story matters and that God testimony coach. I like that. I like coach better than builder. I was wondering what to call it. Um, and that's cool. Maybe Christian. Yeah, Christian testimony coach. I like that. You believe every believer's story matters and that God works uniquely in every life. You gently guide users through the process of discovering and crafting their testimony, meeting them where they are, and always pointing to Jesus as central. You are highly empathetic and supportive, especially towards those who feel timid, inadequate, or unsure about sharing. Nailed it. I like it. I don't see any reasons to update. So as we're reading this, what we're looking for is like if there's anything that like missed the mark or is not quite of your part of your vision, then you want to tweak it. And this is why I say in the beginning, when you're prompting the AI to generate this stuff, the more you can front load your expectations up front the first time, the less work you have on the back end. So the less details I say, the more I'm going to have to change here and tweak back and forth. So better to do it the first time as much as you can. And I would say too that the more that you create pickaxes, the more you'll start noticing patterns of what you like and what you don't like and how you would use it. Like for instance, authorized King James Version. So I made enough pickaxes to realize that if I don't put that line in there, then it will use a bunch of versions that I don't want to put on there. So it's just helpful for me. So core guidelines. Always use a tone that is warm, affirming, and non-judgmental. Sounds good. Address objections directly. I don't have a testimony. My story isn't dramatic. I'm afraid to share. With reassurance and relatable wisdom. Um, Use Socratic method. Ask thoughtful questions to help users reflect and elaborate rather than simply telling. So yeah, it's the difference between asking versus telling, leading with questions. And AI knows what Socratic method is. I wouldn't actually use that term when speaking to people. When I speak to people, I'll usually say like Christ-like um, consulting or Christ-like educating, where Jesus, he asked a lot of what? He asked a lot of questions. in the Gospels, he asks over 300 questions that are recorded that Jesus asked. And I got a book on what those are. Um, and it shows that like he um, he has tons of questions or parables. So, but because I know that Socratic method is very popular, AI is aware of it. So when I'm prompting, it's actually works really good for you to use very precise words that are like bigger. When teaching or when speaking to others, I usually give simple language that can express it that the common people could understand without having to consult a dictionary. But when you're prompting on AI, it's actually a lot better to use popular frameworks, terms, terminology, even if you wouldn't use it in your regular vocabulary or teaching. AI understands it really good. One of the best tips that I learned from a prompt engineer that was involved in $1 billion prompt software, kind of like what we're building here, um, was that actually get a literary dictionary. One thing that drastically improved his prompting is buying a literary dictionary, and we have them online, that will find really precise words that mean these things. And I mean, you get really good prompts by understanding those kind of literary terms in English that really gets a point across. Um, so that was like profound to me, even though I wouldn't use those words in regular conversation. So when quoting the Bible, already read that, use relatable, universal human emotions and experiences to help users see value in their story. Um, offer gentle suggestions to elaborate or make part of their testimony more emotionally engaging and relatable. Give feedback if part seem too intense or not tactful. Suggest ways to communicate. It's really taken my words and put it in a awesome rule. And notice also that a lot of these, they start with a verb. Offer gentle suggestions, give feedback, provide a list, always encourage. Like, notice that when you're giving these lists or prompts, always start with a verb, a command. You're telling exactly what to do. Don't just say information, but tell it. Always use this, never say that. Only include every time. So this is showing a conditional. When quoting the Bible, only use authorized King James. So like that's good. So this could say always use Socratic method. Um, and that's the type of language you want to use. The more specific, the better. Like, be very explicit and express yourself very directly what you want. It says, give feedback if parts seem too intense or not tactful, and suggest, okay. Provide a list of relevant KJV verses that align with the user's themes or experiences if they wish to tie in biblical principles. Um, Always encourage users to keep Jesus at the center of their story, offering specific and gentle reminders on how to do so. I won't say reminders, I'll just say suggestions. And let's say here, you can actually, okay, when you change something here, it will automatically show up here. And when you type, you could say, I want to share my testimony about giving my heart to Jesus when I was 16. So that's fun. It's kind of long. Let's take a moment to reflect on key points. First, can you think back what your life was like before? What were some experiences? So one thing I don't like is a format. Um, it's like conversational approach. Um, let's say avoid long paragraphs with multiple sentences. Break up the reading so there are multiple line breaks. It's easy for the eyes to follow, because I find big, thick paragraphs like this can be intimidating. My life before Jesus was very hard. I wanted to kill myself, which is true. I promised I wouldn't live to be over 18. I hated myself and my life. Say that. So, when you add something here, I don't think it necessarily changes. Maybe it did, because it seemed like it broke up more here. Like that's two questions, right? Um, and you could always hit clear. You can clear the chat, and it'll restart the chat from the beginning, and you could start another conversation. So, and if you're like, oh no, I didn't want to clear that, you could just undo and then pick up where you left off again. So that's really convenient. I've actually never seen that undo button. That was really cool. I'm learning with you. Um, so I'm gonna scroll down because I like this. Introductions. This is a little bit more advanced, but I find it's helpful. Um, Once you have the prompt frame in there, you can click this button that says Generate Icebreakers. And with Generate Icebreakers, it says, what if I'm afraid of judgment or rejection when sharing my testimony? Can you help me find Bible verses that resonate with my journey? Um, how can I discover and share my testimony when my story feels so ordinary? I think, yeah, I mean, that's good. I actually like all those. And you can't see it right now, so we're going to clear the chat. And now you can see that they're right here. And it looks like they're a bit too long, so I want to shorten them out. I'll say this. I don't think I have a testimony. Could you help me find mine? That's shorter. And then, um, how can I face my fears when, okay, face my fears when sharing, when maybe I think of sharing my testimony. There you go. Can you help me find Bible verses that resonate with my, um, can you, this is a great question. What are all the ways you're able to help me? I like that question a lot. And let's select it. So you just click the button right there, and then it starts a conversation off. And boom, look at that. This is the way. Discover your story. I can help you reflect, overcome insecurities, structure your testimony, incorporating scripture, building confidence, practice delivery. Yeah. Finding the right audience, encouragement and prayer. Isn't that cool? Um, I like that. So I like those a lot. When in doubt, for the icebreakers, you could always put that question on most of these, and it just gets lots of value. Because I think one of the biggest requirements for like adoption is that the user has actual use cases to know how they could use it. So I find that this makes it easier. So how can I face my fears? When I think of sharing my testimony, and there it is. It's given some good suggestions, and I like it. I read it as it generated, and then let's go clear chat. And I don't think I have a testimony. Could you help me find mine? Uh, and that really simplified it, right? So that's cool. Um, and so what I would do is continue to read this, and then once it's the way I like it, then I will probably hit update and close and call it good. So far, I've actually really liked this. It's been good. haven't needed to update much at all. I like it, and you can see how we can pump those out a lot faster. Address common fears, rejection, embarrassment, affirm their experience no matter how ordinary it seems, valuable and relatable to others. I would say show the user it's how their journey is valuable and relatable to others. Maybe their story. When relevant, remind the user that many people have felt the same way and found power and healing in sharing their story. With long paragraphs, yeah, I wrote that. Bible integration. When the user expresses a theme or emotion, forgiveness, hope after loss, overcoming addiction, offer curated selection. That is so cool. That's why I haven't seen it yet, because I haven't gotten into the emotional part. Encourage but don't force the integration of scripture as personal parables that illustrate biblical truth. See, that was a phrase that I used. Customization. Tailor all suggestions, questions, encouragement specifically to the user's unique story and emotional state. Gently challenge users to go deeper where appropriate, and always encourage authenticity and vulnerability. Yeah, this is good. I like it a lot. So I'll complete that. Intro message. I kind of like that too. So I'll add that. Um, and what I like to do a lot of times when creating these pickaxes, I like to go through and see what are ones that we already have and not reinvent the wheel. So I'm actually going to duplicate this because if I go back, it's going to make me lose all of my stuff, my work. So now I can go back because I want to go to one I've previously built, one that I'm pretty happy with. You can click on Pickaxes right here, and when you hit the drop down, then I'm going to go to Biblical Sabbath Counselor. I'm going to go to Edit Pickaxe right here, and I want to use the same introduction because I think it's cool to help people to know that. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to introductions, and it says select the conversation starter below. To get started, press the microphone icon to speak your answers. I like that a lot. So I'm going to put that there. And as you can see, that becomes the first message. So if I zoom out a bit, they can see better, and you can see them right there. So that's what you type here, and then as you can see, it says type there. So those are not required, but I like this exact phrase, especially that microphone icon you get by toggling on right here. Allow users to use voice inputs. I like that. So that's how that works. And I think that's everything. I'm just gonna update this and call it good. I think it's an awesome pickaxe, and it's ready to go. So that's how you update them, and you tweak and you adjust and you go back and forth until it's exactly the way that you like it. And at this point, you're good to go, and you're off to the races.